got to be here.
Ron Siegel Radio.
Press those buttons.
Your home and mortgage connection.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion, delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only talk about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. But before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest. Welcome back. Jeff Clark is with us. Good morning.
What?
Okay, Arnold. Okay,
Good morning, Ron.
You're showing your age. I get it. Not half our audience doesn't even know what that is, what that show is. And ironically enough, the first time I played that, actually I asked Josh to grab it for me, and he thought I had lost my marbles more than he normally thinks I've lost my marbles. But that's a whole different story. In any event, let me remind you, if you ever have any home and finance needs, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you, and you can reach out to me directly. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, of course, we're celebrating today. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. I'm sure there's something that's going to get me in trouble in these celebrations today. Career Coach Day. National Winter Skin Relief Day. I don't know about that.
What's the big idea?
Clean off your desk day. Thankfully, the camera only shows from the waist up. I'm just going to throw that out there because my desk is never clean. Dog food brands to avoid. Well, what's that all about? Joy Germ Day. I have no clue what that is. Bubble Bath Day. Might be kind of scary. And this is a family show, so we're not going to go any further into that one. National Argyle Day. Again, is any Argyle? That's old school. I mean, that's about as old as me. Argyle sock. Well, this one in the picture here, they have an Argyle sweatshirt or sweater. Okay.
It is what it is.
But as you know, I have beaten anorexia. And today is National English Toffee Day. Now, I will share that I enjoy going over to C's Candy and getting English toffee. Milk chocolate, please. You go to Trader Joe, and they've got an English toffee there, but half the box is dark chocolate. And you can tell that I know this stuff. Half the box is dark chocolate, half the box is milk chocolate. I'm not a big fan of dark chocolate. Maybe it's too healthy. Let's take a look and see what's going on in the world today. The Dow Jones Industrial Average down 44 points. Last time I looked, the entire Dow Jones, the part that was down was all being driven by Boeing aircraft. Yeah, they got a problem with doors on the Boeing airplane. So, and I shouldn't make light of it, but that's down 15 points right now, down 6.37. I am not a big fan of flying. I had to fly so much when I was younger and so many years. So I'm not a big fan of flying, but it is the best way. It is still the safest way. But the Dow Jones is down 40 points just off of Boeing alone. S&P 500 is down 30. The NASDAQ is up 194 points. That's a surprise, being that we've seen a lot of weakness in Apple stock lately. And I'll just take a look quickly at Apple, up $3.17 right now as we speak. So that's probably giving us an indication of why the NASDAQ is up so much. But we've also been watching a lot of the NASDAQ has been being driven by the 10-year Treasury. And no, the 10-year Treasury is not a NASDAQ stock, but the tech stocks seem to do well when the 10-year Treasury is going southbound. And those of us that are in the real estate world, that have in the mortgage world, 10-year Treasury is down 6.8 basis points. So that's looking good. What's that going to mean for mortgage rates? Well, we'll talk about that in the Mortgage Minute. We'll see about that. We're going to also look and see what are we looking at gas price? Do we want to look at gas prices? That sometimes gets a little scary. Down $3.38 a barrel. That's good news, especially with all the geopolitical stuff going on. Is it going to translate into gas prices? Not in California, it won't. $3.07 a gallon is the national average of a gallon of gasoline. $4.67 is the average for the state of confusion. Ow! Yeah. Josh is in the $3 range, $3.92 over there in Nevada. And again, that's the statewide average for Nevada. We know it's a lot cheaper than that. And my loan assistant, Arian, you like this one. Jeff, you got a company that deals a lot. You're on the road a lot.
Yes.
$2.73. Oh, wait a second.
Sign
That's
me up.
$2.65. She's in Mississippi. $2.65 a gallon.
Sign me up.
Could you imagine that? And Gavin thinks it's all because the oil companies are gouging Californians. Well, maybe if we can get Gavin to wake up. I know, Gavin. Gavin, wake up. You know, of course, then again, why would he wake up when the president doesn't? You got to wonder about our safety and security of our country right now. And, you know, whether you're a partisan or not, but you've got a Secretary of Defense that goes in the hospital. And I get it. But, you know, even a radio host like me, I go in the hospital. Thankfully, I haven't done that in a while. But I let people know, my team knows, my superiors know. Well, you know, the Secretary Austin, he's got just his little job, you know, Secretary of Defense, and doesn't tell anybody that he's going to be in the hospital going in for an elective procedure over the holidays. And I get it. It happens. Well, problems. Then he's in intensive care, and the President of the United States doesn't know. Oh, wait a second. There's a lot that he doesn't know. But he doesn't know that his Secretary of Defense is not on the job. And the Undersecretary is on vacation out of the country. Who's running the shop? You know, you just got to wonder about these things. Now, I know that the president, you know, there's question marks here. And I'll just put it that way. There's question marks. So when you're looking at these things and you say, okay, our military men and women have been attacked over 110 times in the Middle East in the last few months. And we haven't done a whole heck of a lot about it. Well, maybe the president doesn't even know. I'm just throwing that out there because, you know, you watch what's going on with him and the Secretary of Defense. We already know that Mayorkas has no clue what's going on along the border. So I'm going to throw it out there because I've said this before. Have you ever looked at, you know, last we had the what was it, the Grammy Awards or some goofy award that was on Golden Globe. I don't know what it was last night. I don't watch them, but you know, you just got to wonder sometimes who's watching the store. And I lost my train of thought, so that's even worse. Of course, I guess I could be president of the United States then. Yeah, because we don't know what's going on. I'm just it's Monday, right? And I haven't had enough coffee yet. You're listening to Ron Siegel. It'll come to me during the break. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio. Good morning, Tony Jean. It's glad to see you with us. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, what lower mortgage rates mean for your purchasing power. First-time home buyers unlock the door to your dream home. Home inspections. Are we going to be back to waiving those again? No, you shouldn't. We'll talk about all that and more. You can reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel. Your home and mortgage connection.
Hey there, friends. Wondering if now is the right time to buy a home? Or are you waiting for a bunch of foreclosures? The facts speak loud and clear. Defaults and foreclosures are down. Sure, we might be headed towards a recession. But did you know interest rates typically drop and real estate values often go up during a recession? So what are you waiting for? Higher prices or higher payments? Don't navigate these waters alone. Connect with RonSiegelRadio.com today. That's RonSiegelRadio.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime. At 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva, they've got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, they are the only ones with the Home Select program. I've shared with you this many, many times. Strategy beats rate always. Strategy beats rate always. So I did an analysis before we get into the program, the Mortgage Minute here. Did an analysis last Thursday. And the person I was talking to said, Ron, there's no way you're going to be able to beat with the Home Select program the rate that I have. I go, okay, well, you're probably right, but you want to look? And sure, let's look. It has a 3% adjustable rate loan, 3% interest only. Sounds like a good deal, and I'm kind of squirming here a little bit. $1.5 million is the property value, $950,000 loan amount, 3% interest only. We run it through the Home Select simulator. Are you ready for what the rate came out to for him? Now, if you're thinking about an interest-only loan, one of the things on an interest-only loan is you're never paying principal, so you don't pay that down until the interest-only period runs out. But would you want to hear an idea of what the interest rate was? Strategy beats rate always. The effective APR on the simulator, 2.006, was not going to have to make a traditional mortgage payment, and the loan would be paid off in 7.25 years. This wasn't a year and a half ago. This was Thursday. Effective APR 2.006. Let's take a look and see what's going on in the mortgage world right now and every day at this time. OBMMI, they provide the most comprehensive, accurate, and timely interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated from actual locked rates with consumers across 42% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. Last Friday, about the latest data that we can give you. 30-year conforming rates, 6.709, up just a little bit. 30-year jumbo down 7.043. 30-year FHA down 6.566. 30-year USDA down 6.547. The best loan on the market, unfortunately, that was one of the only ones that was up. 6.153. That's the 30-year VA loan. That's where loans locked at on Friday. And as I tell you, every day every business day, we send out as early as the data allows our mortgage thoughts for the day. RSRmarketminute.com, RSRmarketminute.com gets you that for free every day. Just a simple email. You have to make the initiative of going and registering there. RSRmarketminute.com. Let's see what's going on in the mortgage world today. Well, we've got the S&P 500 is up 31 points. 10-year Treasury is down 6 basis points. The mortgage bond up 22, which means rates are down. That's all good news. So we like seeing all of that good news in the market world. Try and figure out what's driving this. Not a lot of data this morning, but we are going to get some later in the week. We do have Fed spokespeople. So Dallas Fed President Lori Logan, she doesn't get to vote, but she did come out and say that it's appropriate to consider reducing quantitative tightening or the runoff of the Fed's balance sheet as overnight reverse purchase agreement balances approach a low level. This would be a big one for rates as the Fed would start to absorb some of the supply of treasuries out there in the marketplace. She also tried to cover her bases, which is typical, maintaining that, we're going to have to wait a little bit longer. I will tell you that I still think that it's going to be the second quarter when we start seeing the Fed rates drop a little bit. But hey, something? There's some good news out there, and we've been talking about this on Ron Siegel Radio. You don't hear a lot of places talking about this. But in the mortgage world, traditionally, there's a spread of about 1.75 between the 10-year Treasury and the 30-year fixed rate mortgage. We had been up to about 3 on that, a 3.0 spread. Well, right now I'm looking at the 10-year Treasuries at 3.97, and I think I just told you that the conforming loan is at 6.7. So let's just say 4, so that'd be 5.79. So there's about a 1-point spread in there right now. 1 point above where it should be. So we're getting a little bit better. That's the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make a call. 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990. Well, let's talk about it. We're going to get into some heavy-duty real estate, I believe, coming up in the next 4 or 5 months. If interest rates do drop, as I believe they will, that's going to open up a lot more properties coming out to market. And are we going to go back to 2020, 2021, when people said, something, I'm going to give up my rights to have an appraisal. I'm going to give up my rights to have a home inspection. I think that's a little foolish. I'm sure that Jeff Clark's going to say the same thing because he's in the inspection business. But let's talk about the why of that, Jeff. Good morning, Jeff Clark, Trident Inspection Group.
Good morning to you, Ron. Good to be back.
So what are your thoughts? I mean, just because somebody gives up or waives the inspection contingency, that doesn't mean they can't call you and have an inspection done.
Ron, that happens a lot. When the time that you're referring to back in 2020, what was that, 2020,
2021, yeah.
We would get that because they're trying to write very competitive offers. We're waiving this, we're waiving that. We have very narrow. So we were able to respond to that. And even during those times, we were still able to document and about 3,000 to 5,000 in additional credits or some negotiations in there. They're not going to go over things, cosmetic. It's more the heart and the lungs. Is there any foundation issues? Are there any HVAC, plumbing, et cetera, that's going to come to light that could open the door for more discussion?
So one of the big issues that we see there is, and I like the way you put that, is it comes up to more discussion.
Right.
Doesn't necessarily mean that somebody has to do something. And hey, by the way, guys, if you're, we appreciate the comments coming in, but if you go to StreamYard.com, I think /Facebook, we'll actually know who you are and we can actually say hello to you. Or Josh will put that on the screen here in a second. But I think it's StreamYard.com /Facebook because you've got some admirers here. Somebody said Jeff rocks. It might be your wife or your family. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's okay. My wife says to say hi too. So, and she's on there as a Facebook. Josh, we have to see what's going on. Why is everyone coming through as Facebook user? StreamYard.com /Facebook, and that way we know who you are. But so people are. It's not an issue of saying this has to be done. I mean, there's some things that are highly recommended.
Yes.
But when you come out with a report, what's the intent of the report? Is it an educational report, scare me report? What's the intent behind the report?
Well, the way that we approach it, Ron, is it has to be more educational,
Okay.
right? We have to walk them through the process. We want to put eyes on the situation because our philosophy for this is after they buy the house, after our client buys the house, there potentially could be a period of financial vulnerability there.
Sure.
Okay. So our duty is to just have the discussion with them, to inform them of the condition and provide context to it, right? Not just drop a report on their lap and walk away, but to have discussion about it and to pivot towards some solution with them. So that way they'll have a clear path towards that solution.
Gotcha. Now, do you, when you come up with items A, B, and C, whatever those might
Sure.
be, does your company do the remediation of that work, or is it someone else that does the remediation or fixing of it?
California prohibits us from marketing or doing any type of repairs for 1 year from the inspection date.
Ah, okay.
So what we do is we coordinate with the realtor. The realtor, do they have a referral that they trust in their ecosystem? If they don't, we absolutely have vetted, proven, licensed contractors that are able to handle this.
Gotcha. So it's not like you're going out there and saying, "Hey, we need to do this," and then, oh, by the way,
No, no.
that because we do see that sometimes. So we always want to make sure that there's no conflict of interest.
Correct.
Right? What is there a normal amount of work that you find? I mean, is the inspector's job, and I don't want to cross bridges, but we always talk about the fact that an attorney has to justify their salary, right? So when you send a letter to an attorney to review, they're going to always find something. Right.
Now, within our report, yes, we are there to, our standard really is perfection. Okay. Then we make adjustments from that based on the year the property was built and other things that layer into that. We do provide, because a lot of people nowadays, or a lot of people in general, they're not familiar with maintenance of a home.
Right? That'd be like me.
Correct. So we want to make sure
I don't even know what side of a screwdriver to use.
We want to make sure that they have an understanding of the home, what the difference between a deferred maintenance and a material defect, or we just want to kind of draw lines between that for them, so that way they start to understand how the house stays in this condition, or how it got to this condition.
Ah, gotcha.
Right, and that's super important, because we age in and of itself isn't a defect, thank God. Right. Or we'd be living in Logan's Run. But what we want to make sure is that we want to document everything that is working or that isn't working, so that way they have an idea of what they're receiving, and then they can make a decision based on those facts. Right. It's not because the data, this is what I usually tell people, the data is the data. We're just there to collect it.
Ah, okay. So it is what it is.
Yes, correct.
Now we're going to tell you what it is. And what bearing might this have on insurance? We're going to talk about that when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. We'll also chat a little bit what lower mortgage rates mean for your purchasing power. First-time home buyers unlock the door to your dream home. Could you get into a raffle where Ron Siegel Radio is actually paying your mortgage? Certain limitations apply. And I better be careful because my wife's listening, and it's actually her company, so she's going to have to pay someone's mortgage. You can reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
79% of all credit reports have errors that should be corrected through factual disputing. You could be saving thousands every year if your report was accurate. CreditSanitizer.com provides a free credit report audit when you furnish a specific $1 credit report. You can use this information to request corrections to your report and potentially save thousands of dollars. Get your free credit audit at CreditSanitizer.com. That's CreditSanitizer.com for a free credit report audit. CreditSanitizer.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio. Or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. 1990, the real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. What lower mortgage rates mean for your purchasing power. If you want to buy a home, it's important to know how mortgage rates impact what you can afford and how much you'll pay each month. Fortunately, rates for 30-year fixed-rate mortgages have come down significantly since the end of October and are currently under 7% according to Freddie Mac. And yes, of course, we do have a chart that shows that for you. And that's the Freddie Mac chart. They come out every Thursday. They don't tell us how many points are paid anymore or APR. They just tell us interest rates. And if you've got good eyes, you can see that as of last Thursday, looks like the rates were at 6.62 was the rates for the 30-year fixed rate loan. The recent trend is great news for buyers, as a recent article from Bankrate says, quote, the rate cool-off somewhat eases the housing affordability squeeze, unquote, according to Edward Seiler, AVP of Housing Economics and Executive Director of Research Institute for Housing America at the Mortgage Bankers. Holy cow, that guy's got to have a big business card. Quote, MBA expects that affordability conditions will continue to improve as mortgage rates decline, unquote. Here's a bit more context on how this could help with your plans to buy a home. Understanding the connection between mortgage rates and your monthly home payment is crucial for your plans to become a homeowner. Affordability is basically three different components. It's the price of the property, the payment, which is the interest rate, is driven by the interest rate, and wages. That's how they determine affordability. So we've got a chart that shows your ability to afford a home, how easy for me to say, how your ability to afford a home changes when mortgage rates shift. Imagine your budget allows for a monthly payment between $2,400 and $2,500. The green part of the chart, if you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our socials, the ABC News and Talk AM 1490 video feed, you are seeing this chart, and it gives you the green part, shows payments that are in the range or lower. So you can see that when interest rates are at 5.5%, $2,500 is a $440,000 house. When interest rates are at 7.25%, that same, it's $2,456 payment gets you a $360,000 house, 20% less buying power. So you can see even small changes in rates can affect your budget and the loan amount you can afford. That's why I tell you, strategy beats rate always. Get a higher house payment and have them help you with the interest rates. It'll help out a lot. If you haven't seen that, give us a call and we'll send you a report on how that works. When you're looking to buy a home, it's important to get guidance from a local real estate agent and a trusted lender. They can help you explore different mortgage options, understand what makes mortgage rates go up or down, and how those changes impact you. By looking at the numbers and the latest data together, then adjusting your strategy based on today's rates, you'll be better prepared and ready to buy a home. Bottom line, if you're looking to buy a home, you should know the recent downward trend in mortgage rates is good news for you. Give me a call at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. We will chat and get you in a strategy. I've said this many, many times. Our team does not ever turn down somebody for a mortgage. Never. Unless there's some sort of fraud issue going on. Then it's a good, quick boot. I've got a size 15. It goes right, where the good Lord split you. But the bottom line there is, other than that, everyone else goes on a game plan. And we want to put people together to see how they can get into the real estate market, get their home of their dreams. That's the real-time real estate segment brought to you by rsrmoney.com. Victor and Tony Jean, glad to have you. They say you got great information, Jeff. Did you pay them yet?
Checks in the mail.
Checks in the mail. Okay. Okay. So we appreciate you listening in. If you have questions or comments, please put them in the chat anytime you wish. I'm going to continue my conversation. Jeff Clark, Trident Inspection Group, is our guest this morning. And before the break, if you missed it, sorry. But before the break, we were talking about what is and isn't working within the home. That's one of the things that they do at Trident. But right now, if you live in the state of California, you may be having some difficulty in getting home insurance. I've had many, many people call us. And Jeff, is there a part of the report that might help with the insurance companies too?
Several. A lot of the insurance companies, what they're really wanting to look at is the plumbing issues. Anywhere where there's a potential for leak,
right? The
electrical panel, what type of electrical panel, how old it is, the amperage of it. And then the amp is the total amount of electricity coming into the house, right? And then they're going to want to see what type of wiring you have. Is it copper or is it aluminum? If it is aluminum, has it had the upgrade?
Wow.
Yes.
They go that in depth now.
They do. And then they want to see the data plates for things like your heater or your furnace or your air conditioning unit. They want to see data plates on the water heater, when it was installed, if it's strapped, is there any kind of corrosion on it. They're wanting to take a look at the washing machine, those water supply lines that the washer is connected to.
Sounds like a lot of things coming to do with water.
If that's the water is the enemy of the home, right? They're looking
Sure.
for potential loss. They want us to go up on top of the roof, see what type of roof it is, what the estimated life is, where it's at. They're really starting to get pretty particular on these. During renewals.
So it's during renewals, but are they asking for that as part of the new home purchase too?
Some insurers are requesting it.
If you can even get insurance.
Correct. It's very challenging right now. So we want to make sure just in our standard report, all that information is going to be available for them in that report.
Interesting. So is there like an executive summary you give them, or do you just have to give them the whole report?
Well, what we'll do from there is we will give them a summary, an executive summary to extract out, because I protect my data. I protect my client's data. So I only give the insurance company exactly what they're asking for.
Gotcha. Okay. So, and that's in California, that's a biggie right now.
Yes.
And I know that there's a lot of legislation they're talking about, which might be the problem with why we don't have insurance out here.
All right.
But there's a lot of comments and discussion in Sacramento about why it is so difficult to get insurance in the state of California.
Right. They're making it very difficult
Interesting.
or challenging.
So in the how long, for a typical, I don't know there is anything that's typical, but a 2,500 square foot, 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, how long is that report? Is it a long document? Is it a standard document?
That's a great question. Your average pages per report, if you will, is going to be right around, let's say, 100 pages.
Wow.
Right. What we want to do is we've spoken to other home warranty companies, and we want to make sure our language in the report aligns with what home warranty, should there be something that happens, right? They're very binary. Does it work or doesn't it work at the time of inspection? And then we also include temperature readings at the register where the either the heater or the air conditioning air comes out, the water temperatures. We want to make sure that we put supporting information in that report should anything happen.
Now, does somebody need a home inspection if they're buying a new build?
There's not consensus on that. Every time we've done a new home construction inspection, we find something. We bring it. It's almost like when you buy those homes, you have like a blue tape party where you take painter's tape and you start marking all the blemishes and defects. We have found some pretty substantial defects on there on center islands that were just completely out of level, and we were able to find those information. So there is a reason to it, to have one, because not everything is built perfectly.
Yeah, it's being done by people, so you wouldn't expect it to be done perfect.
Correct.
Now, what I might suggest as a consumer advocate, you tell me because you're the inspector, is have that home inspection done maybe after you've been in the house for 10 months.
Oh, yes.
Because generally the homes come with a warranty for 12 months.
Yes. Yeah, you got 12 months by the contractor, and then I think it's 10 years based on the foundation.
Okay. As long as it's a reputable contractor who stays in business that long.
Correct.
Right? Because there are contractors that, they set up a new entity for every project and close it out afterwards.
True.
Right.
True.
So, but if you have that, if you get that done in 10 months, I'm going to assume, which sometimes is dangerous, but somebody like me who knows nothing about this stuff is going to get great information from a report like yours because you guys know what you're doing.
Yes, correct. And to that point, just yesterday, I put this on our Instagram at Trident Inspection Group Instagram page, is we've been really focusing on things that happen on the outside that let us know what's going on the inside, right? For example, yesterday there was just a lot of water accumulating right next to the house. And I was like, oh, this doesn't, it doesn't make sense. And I looked on the weather report, there hadn't been rain in about 8 days, et cetera. Right. So through that, we were able to determine that we believe that it was an irrigation leak that is just bubbling up. All the evidence led to irrigation leaks. So we went ahead and terminated the water to that and then was able to call that out, because that water will eventually lead to some foundation issues, or at least a high water bill.
Sure. And something, I do have a relative who found that they the city of Irvine, they had a huge water bill.
Right.
and found that it was something to do with irrigation for a homeowners association.
Yeah.
Was getting, put onto their bill, and it took a long time to find it out.
Right.
But now I heard something on the news just recently that there's tools that, and you made a comment earlier, that you can check for foundation leaks or foundation issues.
You can. You can start to. That's a tricky question, because we could be talking about a slab foundation, or we could be talking about a raised foundation. There are a few,
I don't know what the difference.
I understand.
Between them.
Usually, like, let's say down in South Orange County, up in Northern Orange County, you're going to have typically slab foundation. It's a monolithic slab foundation where it's essentially just a concrete slab. Okay.
Gotcha. Okay.
If you're talking LA, Orange, Lakewood, etc., usually have 2 or 3 steps that you have to step up into a porch.
Right.
Those have a foundation where you can crawl under. And yes, I do fit in crawl spaces.
I wouldn't. Boy,
it's tight, right? You just exhale. So the ones that you have crawl spaces, you traverse, underneath in the crawl space, and you're looking at the pier and post, or if it's footings. There's a variety of different ways that you can check those. And then for the slab foundations, you could look for type grading and drainage are very critical when it comes to slab foundations. Okay. The gutter systems that you have, how the water drains, you could get horizontal cracking on there, which is a telltale sign of an issue going on. And that would be something, if you notice substantial cracks along the edge of your house, you'll want to call somebody to have those inspected for sure.
Interesting. More stuff that I have no clue about. Home inspections. We're going to continue our conversation with Jeff Clark. When we come back, you can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, shame on you. But the replay is available. Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Is your budget getting blown up with high prices of gas and increased costs for other household needs? This is Ron Siegel, host of the daily home and finance radio program. Did you know if you have a low interest rate mortgage along with auto debt, credit card debt, or student loans, your family could potentially save $500 or more per month by restructuring these debts? If you'd like a free Borrow Smart analysis with our team, let's book an appointment to see how we might be able to relieve some stress. Schedule an appointment at rsrbsa.com. That's rsrbsa.com for your free Borrow Smart analysis. rsrbsa.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. A little bit of a workshop for you today. Borrow Smart brought to you by rsrhomeselect.com, rsrhomeselect.com. Are you dreaming of owning your first home but feel overwhelmed by the process? They were unraveling the mysteries of home buying to turn your dream into a reality. Ron Siegel here to guide you through your first home buying journey. With many decades in the mortgage industry, I've seen the ups and downs, and today I'm here to share invaluable insights tailored for first-time buyers. Might even be good for some repeat buyers as well. Stay tuned as we delve into the crucial steps to make your home buying experience smooth and successful. Number 1, understanding pre-approval. That's your first step. Start at the beginning, getting pre-approved or pre-underwritten. Why is this essential? Pre-approval gives you a clear picture of your budget, helping you avoid heartbreak from falling in love with a house you can't afford. It also puts you in a stronger position when making an offer. If you've been pre-underwritten, it's almost the same as cash. All the lender needs to do at that point is put in an address and get clear title. And from a lending standpoint, you're done. So it can be done very, very quickly. Choosing the right mortgage. Strategy beats rate always. Always. Lowest interest rate sounds tempting, right? But there's more to your mortgage. Choose a loan officer who understands your financial goals someone who values service quality and expertise over just offering the lowest rate. Number 3, the reputation of your loan officer. It's a key factor. A reputable loan officer is your ally. Look for someone with positive reviews and a solid track record. They can be the difference between a smooth transaction and a problematic one. Number 4, down payment myths and assistance programs. Think you need 20% down? Wrong. Think again. There are various assistance programs available for first-time buyers. These can be lifesavers, especially if you're on funds. And if you remember, we talked about this last week. The average first-time buyer, or the median first-time buyer down payment, is 8%. 8%, not 20. There are 2,000 different first-time home buyer programs or first payment assistance programs nationally. Over 352 in California alone the last I looked. Understanding mortgage costs and points. Paying points for a lower interest rate can be tempting, and in many instances it can be a good idea, but calculate the break-even point. Sometimes it's better to save that cash for other expenses. Sometimes you want to minimize or drop your down payment amount and use some of that money for points. It'll save you a lot of money in the long run. Number 6, special advice for veterans. A VA loan is an incredible resource with benefits like no down payment. Always, always, always explore this option if you or your spouse have served our country, and we thank you for that service. But the VA loan is the best loan on the market. There's no limit to it. It's just your budget. Great, great resource. And anybody that tells you, I'm going to tell you right now, anybody that tells you that the VA loan is a problem, that means they're an idiot and they don't understand the program. So I'm just going to say that flat out. They're an idiot and don't understand the program. Number 7, your unique financial situation. Remember, your situation is unique. Don't rely solely on friends or family's experiences. Have open conversations with your loan officers to find the best path for you. Bottom line, remember that buying your first home is a journey, and like any journey, it requires preparation, knowledge, and the right companions. As a dedicated mortgage professional and your guide, I'm here to assist you every step of the way. If you have any questions or need personal advice, give me a call. Let's make your dream of home ownership a reality. That is a little bit of a workshop for you, talking about first-time home buyers and that dream of home ownership. Again, brought to you by Borrow Smart segment, brought to you by rsrhomeselect.com, rsrhomeselect.com. Continue our conversation. We're talking with Jeff Clark this morning, Trident Inspection Group. One of the things that our team does is when we're working with home buyers, first time or other, we like to get a copy of that home inspection report, and we put it right on the customized dashboard that we give you. That way it'll have your purchase agreement and your closing disclosures and your appraisal and the inspection report all right in one, and your home insurance declaration page, all right in one spot. That way, 4 years from now, if you need to refer to it, it's a great resource. And I'm going to say, Jeff, the inspection report, if I've got a home warranty and there's a question mark, hey, what was the condition of this when you bought the house?
Right.
Your inspection report should help clear that up.
Yes. I mean, there's no long answer there. It will help clear it up just through the way that we document each system within the house. Right. And I just encourage them, just like you said, to go to your dashboard, save that PDF, because that is a document that they could resource if they needed. Data plate is their information tags on various systems, your HVAC or your heater, your air conditioning, your water heater, etc. That those data plates are within there. That it gives you vital information should you ever need it.
Well, it makes it great because I have no clue what kind of air conditioner I have or any of my systems.
Sounds like you need an inspection.
Probably. But what my point is there, when I called, not me, but when my wife called Tony Jean, we had a problem with our air conditioner. We called over to
Mechanical Air,
Veterans Air Mechanical.
There you go.
Right, and spoke to Tony. The first thing she asked was, what kind of air conditioner do you have? And we told her, and it turns out it's one that they don't fix, but it saved us a fee, right, to have somebody come out to tell us, oh, we don't do that.
Right.
Right. If I didn't have that, now you could go in there and instead of me having to go out and say, okay, where do I find out what kind of an air conditioner I have or what year it is or any of that stuff?
Right.
You go right to the dashboard that our team provides, look at the report that you've done, and say, scroll down to page 37, and oh, there it is. There's our plate for the air conditioning system, and it was
Correct.
built in, whatever, and the
Right.
model number, whatever is on those serial plates.
Right.
Great information, and it saves a whole lot of time. Right. So, having your report as a resource
Yes.
piece.
Really during the summary, and really back to your example on the 2,500 square foot, Trident's policy as a company, right? The difference that Trident has is on something 2,000, 2,500 square feet, we're going to put 2 inspectors on that. The reason that we do that is so that way each inspector has the necessary time, because we are, if the property's occupied, we just want to play nice with everybody.
Sure.
Right? We want to be mindful of everybody's time. We want to be the least amount of intrusion as we can. So in that, rather than having one inspector just given 2 hours to get it done, we'd rather have 2 inspectors, both having an hour and a half on each inside and outside. So that way you benefit. And then not only that, really where I think we stand apart is at the summary review at the time. This is your time to ask the questions, to put eyes on it, to go over the shutoffs where all the systems are located. So that way you have an understanding, or the client has an understanding of really their house. They're interacting with the house. So it really brings their anxiety level down because they're starting to interact and they're starting to understand what's going on.
So you just brought something up that's a whole new can of worms. We don't have a lot of time for it, but there's a lot of safety that goes involved. You buy a new house, and if I would ask most real estate professionals, and I love a lot of real estate professionals,
Mm-hmm.
There's some really good ones, and there's some that shouldn't have a license, but that's in every industry.
Right.
Right. But you say, okay, you're walking through the house, where's the gas shut off? Or where's the water shut
Correct.
off? Those are health and safety issues.
Yes.
That, we want to know where. I walked by a house just the other day. I was out on a morning walk, big smell of gas.
Right.
Right. So I called the fire department, which wasn't far from there.
Good for you.
And said, something, there's a lot of, it smells like gas over here. And, somebody needs a shut off to understand where that is. And
Right.
if you don't know that, which apparently you're telling the people, hey, something, if you need gas shut off, here's where it is.
Right.
Go over here. And I would assume that, you try turning off the water. Cause I know at one property we had after so many years, you needed a wrench just to turn the water off.
Right. We
Right?
want
Because
it.
it becomes hard.
Correct. It's the gate valves on there, whatever type of valve it is, they develop calcium on there, and they just freeze. So you want to make sure you start to introduce them, because people don't know these types of things, and it's no fault. It's just an opportunity that we take to educate them on the home that they're looking to purchase.
And it makes a lot of sense because and I have no idea what a home inspection costs, but I can tell you this. I mean, look at me, look at Jeff. He's not going to retire from one home inspection.
No.
So you got to do it right.
Right.
And we're always looking to see how we can earn somebody's repeat business or their referral.
Yes.
So the bottom line is, if you have questions, give me a call at 800-306-1990. I don't know a thing about home inspections other than I know how to get a hold of Jeff Clark. And if you want to reach him, give me a call. Again, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Happy to put you in touch with Jeff. Trident Inspection Group is the name of the company. As always, I ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh and Sean for engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime. 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.